Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of hidden treasures as we explore the top 4 ultra-rare Washington $quarter coins that collectors and investors are always searching for. These $quarter coins may look like ordinary pocket change, but certain rare dates, mint marks, and minting errors have made them worth thousands, tens of thousands, and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of the most famous Washington quarters are prized for their low mintages and rare varieties. So before you spend that old quarter, make sure to stay until the end because you might be holding a hidden fortune in your hands. Alright everyone, let's get started. First up, the 1972 Washington $quarter with the D mint mark in circulated condition. At first glance, this quarter may appear to be nothing more than ordinary pocket change that has spent years moving from one hand to another. However, experienced collectors know that every old Washington quarter carries a unique story shaped by decades of circulation, history, and survival. Every worn edge, every tiny scratch, every softened design detail, and every natural sign of age tells a story that no newly minted coin could ever duplicate. This is not simply 25 cents. It is a small piece of American history that has quietly traveled through generations while witnessing thousands of unforgettable moments. The Washington $quarter first entered circulation in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. What was originally intended as a commemorative issue quickly became one of the longest-running and most recognizable coin designs in United States history. Americans immediately admired the elegant portrait of the nation's first president, and for decades the design remained almost unchanged. From the Great Depression through wartime America, economic booms, technological revolutions, and changing generations, the Washington quarter faithfully served the American people while becoming one of the country's most trusted circulating coins. The D Mint mark tells us that this particular quarter was produced at the historic Denver Mint. Every 1972 D Washington quarter began its journey with brilliant mint luster, crisp lettering, sharp design elements, and flawless surfaces created with remarkable precision. As soon as these quarters entered circulation, they began completely different journeys across America. Although millions were struck that year, every surviving coin carries a completely different history, making each example unique in its own remarkable way. The year 1972 represented an exciting chapter in American history. Families continued building brighter futures, businesses expanded, highways became busier than ever, and communities across the nation continued growing. Throughout this memorable period, millions of Washington quarters entered circulation and quietly became part of everyday life. They paid for meals at family restaurants, purchased gasoline during long road trips, bought school supplies for children, operated vending machines, parking meters, laundromats, arcade games, and countless other everyday necessities. Every transaction quietly added another page to the remarkable story of each individual coin. A circulated 1972 D Washington quarter possesses a beauty that only time can create. Unlike uncirculated examples preserved immediately after leaving the mint, a circulated coin honestly reflects years of faithful service. Every gentle sign of wear represents thousands of real-life exchanges between ordinary people. George Washington's portrait may display softened high points, while the reverse eagle carries evidence of careful use, yet the coin continues preserving its historical identity with remarkable dignity. These authentic characteristics make circulated examples especially fascinating to collectors who appreciate history as much as condition. Imagine where this remarkable quarter may have traveled throughout its extraordinary lifetime. It may have rested inside the pocket of a hardworking construction worker, accompanied a family during a cross-country vacation, or been exchanged countless times inside busy supermarkets and neighborhood convenience stores. Perhaps it purchased a movie ticket, helped pay for a child's favorite snack, or sat quietly inside a cash register waiting for its next journey. Every transaction created another unforgettable chapter that remains permanently connected to this historic coin. One of the greatest pleasures of coin collecting comes from understanding that every circulated coin quietly connects countless people from different generations. This 1972 D Washington quarter may have passed through the hands of teachers, farmers, students, soldiers, nurses, mechanics, business owners, parents, cashiers, travelers, and grandparents. Although none of them could have imagined it at the time, every exchange became another meaningful moment in the remarkable history preserved within this single quarter. The obverse proudly features George Washington, whose portrait has remained one of the most respected symbols in American coinage. Even after decades of circulation, Washington's distinguished profile continues, reflecting leadership, courage, honesty, and dedication to the nation he helped establish. Although circulated condition naturally softens some of the finest details, the beauty of the original artwork remains easy to appreciate, reminding collectors why this design has endured for generations. Turning the coin over reveals the magnificent heraldic eagle that served as the reverse design for Washington quarters for many decades. With its wings proudly spread, arrows clutched in one set of talons and olive branches in the other, the eagle represents America's strength balanced by its commitment to peace. Even in circulated condition, much of this classic artwork remains visible, allowing collectors to admire one of the most iconic reverse designs in United States coinage history. Collectors often admire circulated Washington quarters because every example develops its own personality through years of honest use. The natural toning, the gentle wear, and the tiny contact marks cannot be artificially recreated. Every surviving coin carries evidence of real history rather than perfect preservation, making each one a genuine artifact from everyday American life. Next up, the 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway State Quarter with the D Mint mark in circulated condition. At first glance, this quarter may look like an ordinary coin that has spent years moving through countless hands, but collectors know that every circulating commemorative quarter carries a remarkable journey. Every small scratch, every softened detail, and every naturally aged surface tells a story that stretches across years of American history. This is much more than a simple 25-cent coin. It is a miniature work of art that celebrates one of America's most breathtaking national treasures while preserving memories from thousands of everyday transactions. The Blue Ridge Parkway Quarter was released in 2015 as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series designed to honor some of the nation's most treasured parks and historic sites. The reverse design beautifully captures the peaceful beauty of the Blue Ridge Parkway, one of America's most scenic roadways, stretching through magnificent mountain landscapes that have inspired generations of travelers. The design reminds collectors that every coin can represent not only currency but also the natural beauty and cultural heritage of the United States. The D Mint mark tells us that this particular quarter was struck at the historic Denver Mint. Every 2015 D Blue Ridge Parkway quarter left the mint with brilliant surfaces, sharply defined details, crisp lettering, and beautiful mint luster. Fresh from the coining presses, these quarters entered circulation ready to serve millions of Americans in their everyday lives. Although enormous numbers were produced, every surviving coin followed its own completely different journey, making each circulated example unique. The year 2015 represented an exciting period of modern American life. Families traveled more than ever, businesses continued expanding, communities embraced new technology, and people relied on both traditional cash and modern payment methods. Throughout this changing world, millions of Blue Ridge Parkway quarters quietly circulated across the nation, paying for meals, groceries, transportation, parking, vending machines, convenience store purchases, and countless other everyday expenses while becoming silent witnesses to ordinary moments that together created unforgettable memories. A circulated 2015 D Blue Ridge Parkway quarter possesses a special kind of beauty that cannot be manufactured. Unlike coins preserved immediately after leaving the mint, a circulated example reflects years of honest service. Every gently worn surface represents real history. Every tiny contact mark reminds collectors that this quarter fulfilled its intended purpose by serving countless people throughout its remarkable lifetime. Imagine where this fascinating quarter may have traveled during its incredible journey. Perhaps it rested inside the wallet of a family traveling through the Blue Ridge Mountains, purchased snacks during a summer road trip, or helped pay admission at a local attraction. It may have traveled across several states inside a truck driver's pocket, rested inside the cash drawer of a neighborhood grocery store, or accompanied tourists exploring America's beautiful national parks. Every transaction quietly added another unforgettable chapter to the remarkable story carried by this single coin. One of the greatest joys of coin collecting comes from understanding that every circulated coin quietly connects people who will never meet one another. This Blue Ridge Parkway quarter may have passed through the hands of teachers, mechanics, nurses, travelers, business owners, students, grandparents, children, and cashiers. None of them could have imagined that years later this very same quarter would become an admired collectible appreciated by coin enthusiasts around the world. The obverse proudly displays the familiar portrait of George Washington, whose image has appeared on the quarter for generations. His portrait continues representing leadership, integrity, determination, and the founding ideals of the United States. Even after years of circulation, much of the original artistry remains visible, reminding collectors of the exceptional craftsmanship created by the talented engravers of the United States Mint. Turning the coin over immediately reveals one of the most beautiful reverse designs in the America the Beautiful series. The Blue Ridge Parkway scene captures a peaceful roadway leading through rolling mountains while a historic split-rail fence frames the landscape. The detailed composition invites collectors to imagine standing at one of America's most scenic overlooks, surrounded by breathtaking natural beauty. Even in circulated condition, this inspiring design continues telling the story of one of America's most beloved national treasures. Collectors especially appreciate circulated commemorative quarters because every surviving example develops its own individual character over time. Every softly worn detail, every naturally toned surface, and every tiny contact mark tells part of the coin's remarkable history. These authentic characteristics cannot be duplicated, giving every circulated quarter a unique personality that reflects years of genuine public service. Every 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway quarter struck at the Denver Mint followed its own completely different adventure. Some remained inside busy cities where they changed hands dozens of times every week. Others quietly circulated through small towns, rural communities, and mountain regions where life moved at a gentler pace. Some entered collections shortly after release, while many others continued faithfully serving the public for years before finally being recognized by collectors. Holding this circulated quarter today creates an immediate connection to modern American history. It reminds us that even in an age of smartphones, digital banking, contactless payments, and online shopping, physical coins continue connecting millions of people every single day. Every quarter carries memories of real purchases, real places, and real experiences that quietly become part of history. Many families unknowingly preserved America the Beautiful quarters inside coin jars, piggy banks, dresser drawers, coffee cans, old wallets, and growing collections assembled one coin at a time. Years later, these forgotten quarters often become treasured keepsakes passed lovingly between generations. Beyond their collectible appeal, they preserve family memories while celebrating America's extraordinary natural beauty. Next up, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark in beautiful, very fine condition. At first glance, this classic quarter may appear to be just another old coin that has survived decades of circulation, but experienced collectors know that every Washington quarter carries a unique story waiting to be discovered. Every carefully preserved detail, every naturally aged surface, and every gentle sign of wear reflects years of honest service, making this remarkable coin much more than ordinary pocket change. It is a genuine survivor of American history and a treasured reminder of a remarkable era. The Washington quarter dollar first entered circulation in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first President of the United States. What began as a commemorative issue quickly became one of the most recognized and longest-running coin designs in American history. For generations, Americans relied on the Washington quarter for everyday purchases, making it one of the nation's most familiar coins. Its timeless portrait of George Washington and its majestic eagle reverse became symbols of strength, tradition, and national pride that have remained admired by collectors for decades. One of the most interesting facts about the 1967 Washington quarter is that it does not display a mint mark. During the mid-1960s, the United States Mint temporarily removed mint marks from circulating coins to discourage collectors from removing newly minted coins from circulation during a nationwide coin shortage. As a result, Every 1967 Washington quarter was released without a mint mark regardless of where it was struck. This unique historical circumstance makes the 1967 issue especially fascinating for collectors because it reflects a significant chapter in American numismatic history. The year 1967 represented an unforgettable period in America. Technology continued advancing, communities expanded, highways became busier, and millions of families embraced new opportunities. Throughout this exciting time, countless Washington quarters quietly entered circulation and became trusted companions during everyday life. They purchased groceries, paid bus fares, bought movie tickets, operated vending machines, parking meters, laundromats, and arcade games while silently witnessing thousands of ordinary moments that eventually became treasured memories. A Washington quarter preserved in very fine condition offers collectors an outstanding balance between attractive preservation and genuine historical character. Unlike heavily circulated examples, a very fine coin still displays impressive design details while honestly reflecting years of careful use. George Washington's portrait remains bold, much of the original lettering stays crisp, and the magnificent eagle on the reverse continues showing excellent detail. This wonderful combination allows collectors to enjoy both the artistic beauty of the design and the remarkable history preserved within the coin. Imagine where this fascinating quarter may have traveled throughout its extraordinary lifetime. It may have rested inside the pocket of a hardworking office employee, traveled across America during a family vacation, or passed through countless neighborhood grocery stores, restaurants, and local businesses. Perhaps it purchased a newspaper one morning, helped pay for a child's favorite treat after school, or rested quietly inside a busy cash register before beginning another journey. Every transaction quietly added another unforgettable chapter to the incredible story carried by this historic quarter. One of the greatest joys of coin collecting comes from realizing that every circulated coin quietly connects countless people from different generations and different walks of life. This 1967 Washington quarter may have passed through the hands of teachers, mechanics, soldiers, nurses, students, farmers, cashiers, travelers, parents, and grandparents. None of them could have imagined that decades later this same quarter would become an admired collectible appreciated by enthusiasts around the world. Every exchange became another meaningful page in its remarkable history. The obverse proudly displays George Washington, whose portrait remains one of the most respected and recognizable images in American coinage. Even after decades of careful circulation, a very fine example continues preserving much of the remarkable artistry originally created for this classic design. Washington's calm expression symbolizes leadership, courage, determination, and honesty, qualities that continue inspiring admiration from collectors throughout the world. Turning the coin over reveals the majestic heraldic eagle that served as the reverse design for Washington quarters for many generations. The eagle proudly spreads its wings while holding arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both national strength and peace. Even in very fine condition after years of circulation, much of the feather detail remains visible, allowing collectors to appreciate the outstanding craftsmanship that has made this reverse one of America's most iconic coin designs. Collectors especially appreciate very fine Washington quarters because they preserve impressive design features while honestly displaying years of faithful service. Every softly polished high point, every naturally toned surface, and every tiny contact mark tells another part of the coin's remarkable journey. These authentic characteristics cannot be artificially recreated, giving every surviving quarter its own completely unique personality. Every 1967 Washington quarter followed a different path after leaving the United States Mint. Some remained inside busy cities where they changed hands many times every single day. Others quietly circulated through small farming communities and peaceful neighborhoods where life moved at a slower pace. Some entered coin collections shortly after release, while countless others faithfully served the American public for decades before finally being recognized by collectors. Holding a 1967 Washington quarter today creates an immediate connection to another generation. It reminds us of a time before smartphones, computers, online shopping, digital banking, and contactless payments transformed everyday life. During those years, quarters remained essential for countless everyday activities, making this coin a genuine witness to thousands of ordinary experiences shared by millions of American families. Series